And then my staff calls me, who called? I said, who called? Novak Djokovic. I said, is it April Fool's Day or something?
He's a top dog to elite athletes who don't talk publicly about him, but privately refuse to do without him.
In 1796, diabetes was controllable. We talk about today in 2026, diabetes is still controllable and not curable. So why do we say science is advanced? अगर pain नहीं होता, a man would stand in the middle of the road and get run down by a car. That is exactly where homeopathy looks at to increase your longevity. आप 2 साल नहीं खेलोगे, अब 10 साल खेलोगे. I am not a doctor who's going to help you on the field. I'm a doctor who's going to help you off the field, not to get into those problems.
If the word homeopath just made you want to switch off, that reaction is exactly what this conversation is going to be about.
I can't think of a time where I felt 100% fit. Maybe mentally you're fine, but physically you just push through pain.
Most doctors in India spend their careers trying to be heard inside a hospital. My friend here treats Olympic athletes in Belgrade, lectures at the Harvard, works at a neurodevelopment center on Harley Street in London, and still somehow answers all my calls from whichever part of the world that he is in and meets me when I'm here in Mumbai. He's a top doc to elite athletes who don't talk publicly about him, but privately refuse to do without him. Novak Djokovic, Janko Tipsarevic, strikers at Man United, Arsenal, Inter Milan, PSG, including Marco Pantelic, Hertha Berlin, MVPs of LA Clippers, international cricketers, international pop stars, royal families, the Serbian Olympic team itself, you name it, it's a very, very long list of international Indian politicians, industrialists, sports people who he will not name on camera, and that restraint alone tells you what any name couldn't. He's an MD, homeopath, Padma Shri nominee, personally invited by the President of India, the only Indian homeopath Harvard has ever invited to speak. He has written 4 books, built a government-approved hospital in Belgrade, developed a clinical software currently used by over 15,000 docs worldwide. If the word homeopath just made you want to switch off, that reaction is exactly what this conversation is going to be about. Because people handing him that list of names stopped debating homeopathy a long time ago. Interestingly, and I must say, the majority of his patients are top international doctors themselves. His social media calls his medicine magic pills. His patients call him the fastest homeopath. By the looks of it, this introduction is longer than what Tiger Woods would get as plaudits at Augusta. He's my dear friend, Dr. Shreepad Khedekar.
Lovely to see you, Kartik, outside of the television.
Likewise, Doc, and by this introduction and this talk is long overdue.
Thank you.
Firstly, tell me what is homeopathy and why homeopathy?
Lovely. So homeopathy, most people do not know, is a science that has originated in Germany in the year 1796. Most people think homeopathy is a part of Ayurveda or some kind of alternative therapy and this and that, but this is a proper German engineered science. Discovered in 1796, back in the day, there was no Germany. It was an area called as Saxonia. And the British royal family has its roots in Saxonia. So from Germany, homeopathy traveled to UK. And during the colonial era, Indians embraced homeopathy wholeheartedly. And that's how Gandhi got homeopathy to India. And in India, homeopathy actually flourished. So much so that people now feel that homeopathy is an Indian science, which is a great tribute. So when Indians...
I actually thought that it was an Indian science.
Yeah. So, when Indians embrace something wholeheartedly, they make it Indian.
Correct.
You talk about Indian cricket. Cricket, although it originated in England, but now people like you have made us so proud and dominated the world. Now it's a testament to how Indians embrace something. So is the case with chess. So is the case with Indian food and homeopathy. So these things are actually ruling the roost all over the world. So why homeopathy was discovered is also interesting. Back in the day, the modes of treatment, allopathic or conventional as we call them, were very barbaric. And the scientist who discovered homeopathy, the German scientist named Samuel Hahnemann, he found out that there is a limitation to what people can achieve out of medicine. There were so many diseases that could be still controlled then and can be just controlled now. So when we say science is advanced, you talk about a simple case of diabetes. In 1796, diabetes was controllable. We talk about today in 2026, diabetes is still controllable and not curable. So why do we say science is advanced? So this gap was identified by this genius Samuel Hahnemann, and he came up with something which the conventional system could not offer. He talked about curing diseases and not just controlling it. Be it a case of diabetes, be it a case of degenerative disorders like multiple sclerosis, autoimmune Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and the list is endless. So this was something which was more advanced that the existing science could not provide. So in a nutshell, that is homeopathy. It obviously works on a principle called as similia similibus curantur, which is in Latin, which in English means same cure same.
Same cure, same.
Same cure same. So if you go to see historically, there's only one area in conventional medicine where diseases can be completely eradicated or can be completely cured. Otherwise, everything is just controllable. You take a pill for life. Let's say a case of diabetes or a case of thyroid.
Like I've been taking a couple of pills for hypothyroidism for the last 20 years now.
Exactly. So homeopathy exactly fills in this gap where after you start with the homeopathic treatment, this can be completely eradicated or cured. So the only area in conventional medicine where diseases can be completely eradicated is the area of vaccination. So again, the same principle applies here, same cure same, because the same substance is given to you to evoke a reaction in a curative way.
Okay.
So homeopathy is basically this exact concept of vaccination, but aimed towards the entire body and not towards one particular disease like polio or typhoid or malaria and so on. So in a nutshell, that is what homeopathy is.
So you could have chosen any type of homeopathy. Why classical homeopathy?
Oh, lovely. Interestingly, in homeopathy, like in every science, there are multiple factions. Like there are multiple factions in sports as well, right?
Correct.
At the highest level, there is Test cricket, then there is ODI, then there is T20, and who knows, there's going to be T10 and
T10,
100
T5, T2.5.
all these, right? So in homeopathy also, there is something which is a quick fix solution. There is something which is done in a very rapid way. And then there is classical homeopathy, which actually tests the character of a homeopath, which is the most cumbersome, which is the most tiresome, and you need to be really advanced to practice classical homeopathy. Like in cricket, at the highest level there is Test, and at the lowest level today is T20. So a Test player can play T20, but it's impossible for a T20 player to play Test. Likewise, in homeopathy, a classical homeopath can do several other things, but a one who is doing a quick fix treatment, like giving you a remedy for injury, arnica for injury, for example, belladonna for headache, that any classical homeopath can do. But then to practice classical homeopathy, which is the most advanced system, you need to understand the entire human and his problems.
Okay.
See, like in T20, I mean, there are so many restrictions, right? There's a power play, there's a no ball, there's this and that. In a Test game, I mean, you can bowl 6 bouncers in a row.
No, you can't bowl 6. You can't bowl 6 bouncers in a row.
You can't. You'll be called off.
Yeah. You can't bowl 6 bouncers, but you can bowl short balls. But yeah.
And then you can.
And I get what you're saying.
And then you can set your own fields, which you cannot do in the shorter format. So likewise in homeopathy, in the shorter format, there are so many limitations.
And you can spread all the field. In a test match, you can keep all 9 on the boundary, or all 9 inside, or all 9 next to one another.
Absolutely.
But obviously in white ball cricket, you can't do that.
So that basically tests the character of the bowler or the batsman. So you get to see the most exceptional deliveries or the most exceptional shots. In fact, in Test cricket, in T20, it's all wham bam, thank you ma'am, you come ulta sulta, all that. And that's where the technique is missing. So I always say that a classical homeopath is what one should actually become, so that he can have the versatility of doing whatever he wants. Okay. And not the other way around.
So basically, classical homeopath means there is nothing quick fix. You're going quite deep into the human, into whatever is afflicting him, and then curing him.
You rightly said. So basically, we are trying to decipher his genetic makeup, his genome, and treating that. The symptom is an outcome of that. So classical homeopathy actually looks at the entire constitution, looks at you. So if you see a plant, you just don't have to look at the flower. First, you have to look at the pot, the surroundings, the soil used in it, the stem, the branches, the leaves, and the flower. So a classical homeopath will look at you as an entire constitution because the constitution has gone wrong to give you a particular symptom.
Yeah.
And not just the symptom.
So one size doesn't fit all.
Not at all. It's a tailor-made, customized medicine. I mean, that's what the world is talking about today. So this Dr. Hahnemann was talking almost 270 years ago.
Because in allopathy, we end up everybody getting the same pill. That's not the case.
Same problem, same pill. And hence, diseases are only controllable and not curable. But if it's a customized medicine for you, for Kartik, who has his own sensitivities and own reactions, that is what is going to cure you.
It's interesting because when you talk about homeopathy, there's so many misconceptions.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that is one of the reasons why I said that this conversation is long overdue in spite of us being friends for such a long time. People normally assume that homeopathy works slowly, it can take months. What do you say to that? What do you say to that? How fast can it work, or how does it work?
I mean, because I'm talking to you, I would frame my answer differently. So would you say test cricket is slow?
No, not at all.
Absolutely, right?
It tests you.
It seems so that it's slow.
It seems so. But I think some of the most interesting aspects and the ebbs and flows, and to be able to play that game, I put it this way. You can run a 100-meter race. You need a special skill to be fast.
It's sprinting. It's not endurance.
Sprinting, and then there
explosive
is,
strength.
Exactly. But can you run a marathon like a 100-meter race? You will die. You will be exhausted. You'll be done.
Maybe only in the beginning or in the finish.
You can't even do that. So 100-meter race, you're like going full tilt for 100 meters. You can't do that. You
Correct.
can't do that in a marathon, which is say 20 half marathon, full marathon. You cannot sprint. You have to pace it. That's why you have to pace it. So maybe that's what you're trying to come to.
So homeopathy is, homeopathy abides by the law of nature, which are Newtonian. So action and reaction is equal and opposite. For example, if you come up with a headache which has just popped in yesterday, you take a homeopathic pill and the headache is going to be gone in the next 30 minutes because it's an acute problem. But if you're suffering from hypothyroid for the last, 10 years, 12 years, do you expect to take a pill and it goes tomorrow? No. It will at least take about a tenth of the time you're suffering from. So homeopathy is obviously not slow. Depends on where you're using it. Likewise, the example of Test cricket and of T20. T20 format is made that way, that it has to be quick and fast. But Test cricket, actually, you're bowling at a much faster speed in Test cricket. You get into a rhythm to bowl. You'll spin the ball more. You'll give it more tweaks. So it's more intricate.
It's very endurance based. Because it's 5 days. It can get brutal on your body.
Absolutely.
Because
it's
for a fast
in the end
bowler,
more taxing.
Yeah, because you're there the whole day. You have to bowl long spells. And
30 overs from, I've seen you bowl 30 overs from one end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. And then you need to be incisive. You need to be penetrative. It's not just about restrictive bowling. And also different aspects. Skill sets are very different is what I feel in Test match cricket. And that's why the old romantics and the old purists end up liking Test match cricket. So yeah, it's interesting because again, homeopathy, people are so hung up about allopathy that there are so many misconceptions about homeopathy. But for me, Doc, the most important thing, having known you for a while, is that you are an Indian doc.
Absolutely, proudly.
And you're proudly from Mumbai, and you hail from this part of the world where you celebrate cricket. But
I'm a proud Mumbaikar from the North Stand at Wankhede.
I know, but you still end up with you are the doc for Novak Djokovic. You are the doc for Tipsarevic. And when I look at, that's why when I made that introduction, I was like, even Tiger Woods doesn't get this kind of a long introduction at Augusta. So
very kind and generous of you. Thank you.
No, not at all. I mean it. But how did you get to do that? How is it that you are treating a Novak Djokovic? You are the Serbian Olympic team's doctor till the Paris Olympics. And you're not treating any of the Indian boys. How come Novak Djokovic?
Well, see, look, Kartik, a doctor can never choose his patient, right? It's just the other way around. The patient chooses the doctor. So, in fact, I finished my MD in the year 2004. And from the very beginning, my mother's been a principal at a school. From the very beginning, she's instilled this thing that, Shreepad, always work on your technique. Never look for quick fix solutions, because the technique is something that will take you places. So I've always worked on this classical homeopathy principle, not doing any get rich quick techniques of, doing hair transplants and doing, infertility nonsense mumbo jumbo thing. I was always looking at the whole person. I was looking at the technique point of it. So in the year 2003, my first book was published. My research on homeopathy was published. It was a profound 800 pages of research.
Wow.
And this research, in fact, reached nooks and corners of the world. So like they say in Hindi, jahan na pahunche Ravi, wahan pahunche Kavi. So which means Ravi is the sun. So sunlight has limitations on where it can reach, but the Kavi's thought can reach wherever. So in fact, my book was my thought. So which resonated with many homeopaths in Europe. And they were quite intrigued that they had never seen something like this, and they wanted to meet me in person. That point of time, I think I was not even married. I was 26 years old, if I'm not wrong. And they come and met me in Dadar. You've come to my home and you know my parents so well now. And my mom is in fact fond of you. She sent regards, by the way. And you have to come for lunch whenever. So they came to meet me at my residence. And they were quite intrigued with the explanations I gave about the research. They also saw some of my patients and they were quite flabbergasted seeing the results. And then before departing, they told me that, doctor, next time we are going to see you in Switzerland. And I was like, normally kaisa hota, main aapke ghar pe, aap bhi hamare ghar pe aao. It could be that kind of thing. I remember I did not even have Wi-Fi at home. I mean, nobody had Wi-Fi at home.
Yeah,
I still had
not then.
I still had to connect my internet phone cable to my computer to get emails. And then after a week, I actually saw an email on my desktop. Then it was not even a laptop. That Dr. Khedekar, we were so honored, and you were so generous with your hosting us in Mumbai and this and that. So give us your probable dates when we would like to see you in Switzerland, because it was impossible for all the Swiss doctors to come to India to attend my lectures and my clinic. But it was easier for them to just bring me there,
yeah.
to just import me there, and then I could deliver my lectures. And I was like, that was the game-changing moment of my life. I mean, the biggest game-changing moment was when I became doctor, when I finished my BHMS in the year 2000.
So you didn't have, you doubted your own self?
No, I mean, see, it's really such a moving experience when you actually get the degree in your hand, that now you're going to get a title for life.
True.
Very few professions can do that in the world, where you carry the title for life. Even after I'm dead, I will be late Dr. Khedekar. So that was, in fact, one of the most important moments of my life. And the second one was when I got that email, and I was like, wow, this is real. And then they also asked me, so how much are you going to charge us? I said, are you serious? I mean, why would you pay me? I mean, you're calling me to Switzerland. And I was like, so who's buying the flight tickets? They said, of course, we are going to host you. I was like, I was pinching myself. This can't be true.
And this is all when you were 26?
I was 26, yeah.
Wow.
So then, in fact, the first flight I ever took in my life, or the first flight I have ever been in, was the Swiss Air from Bombay to Zurich.
So you had never traveled domestic. So your
Only
first
by
flight
train
was
and by
international.
bus.
Brilliant.
And obviously, my first flight was, of course, economy. That's all right. But just being on a flight, and I was taking like a million pictures, where people were like, "Ye pehli baar ja rahe lagta hai." I was taking videos and pictures of everything, And then I reached Switzerland, and there was a group of about 25 doctors who received me, and I was supposed to train them for a week. And then obviously I presented my research there, and each doctors, they had their own difficult cases. So I was giving them practical examples on how to treat them. And most importantly, I said, I don't want to show you video cases which I have back home, some crazy miracle that happened where even I don't know why it happened. You bring me your patients, I will treat them, and you bring them for a follow-up after a month or two. And then I will explain to you. And this became like a juggernaut, so this kept on happening and going. And so from Switzerland, then I went to Croatia. From Croatia, I went to Germany. And then finally, I settled down in Serbia. So that's my journey about being in Europe. And then from Belgrade, I can shoot to my patients who are in Saint-Tropez, in Monte Carlo, Paris, and wherever. So for the last 21 years now, I could say that pretty settled in Europe. So it's the same like, getting selected for the Indian team. Nobody doubts that. When you have it, right? But then that moment when you get a call, I mean, how was your reaction when you actually got a call?
I actually, surprisingly, I didn't get a call. I was right there. It was at the CCI.
Wow.
Yeah,
Brevon. Oh, lovely.
yeah,
Again,
CCI.
Mumbai, see?
Yeah, Mumbai. I know you love your Mumbai. No, I was playing against South Africa. It was a Broad President's 11 game.
All right.
And the selection was going to happen at the end
So
of...
who was the captain at that point of time?
Sachin.
Our captain. And
Indian team's captain. And they had Hansi Cronje.
Cronje, oh, lovely, man.
So this is
and
99...
Klusner and Ponting and all those?
Yeah, this is 99, 2000. And...
2000?
99, 2000.
That's when I became doctor.
Yeah. So that is when... that was my year, actually, in the sense that as a 23-year-old making your debut as the 99.
Wow.
And it was at the CCI. At the end of the game, they had the selection meeting, and as I was walking off the field, suddenly people started clicking photographs, and I didn't understand why. Those are not the times of mobile phones or whatever, or nobody called you to tell you. So suddenly,
There were no mobile phones. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm walking off the field, and suddenly people are clicking photographs, and I couldn't understand why. And suddenly you're somehow you're finding a few scribes in front of you, and they're like starting to congratulate you without telling you what it is. And only then did the news filter
It's a hair-raising moment. Overwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely. But having said that, I still feel that there was a very dear friend of mine. He's still a very dear friend of mine. Both of us had been roommates, and I thought that he would also be picked for India along with me. So a part of me. So when you ask me how did I feel, there was a part of me which was super related, because for me in my family there is nobody with a sporting. We're not a family of sporting pedigree at all.
Nobody in my family is a doctor.
Exactly. So everybody in the family is academicians. My father is a PhD in biophysics.
You wanted to become a genetic engineer,
Yeah,
if I'm
I
not
wanted
wrong.
to become a genetic
Yeah, there you
engineer.
go.
So there was no cricket, no sports. So, but for me, it was a mixed emotion. It was a mixed bag, because yes, a part of me was happy that I was picked. Imagine you and me are roommates. We are friends.
Yeah.
And then you've done better than me in life and in
But was
sport.
he a bowler as well?
No, he was an opening batter.
I mean, different slots, right?
No different slots, but he
That
was a
point of
very
time,
dear friend.
The batting was packed. I mean, people.
No,
from,
but he had an opening. So he
Ah,
had
he
an
had,
opening.
alright.
He had an opening. There was an opening.
Mhm.
There was an opening for him, but someone else got picked,
Oh.
and he didn't get picked. So both of us roommates, can you imagine going
Well,
into
this
the
speaks,
same room?
This speaks a lot about your integrity towards friendship, which I see every day. Lovely,
No,
man.
but that is, see, at the end of the day, can I say something? I feel, of course, family is your family, but having the right friends who can show you the mirror, who are sounding boards,
Wonderful.
and people who can tell you on your face, that is the kind of friendship you want. Because at the end of the day, you know that their heart beats for you as much as it beats for your own self.
Correct.
And I that's what I believe. Sometimes family is fine, but you look at people, history is replete with instances where dear friends have helped people in need, their friends in need,
Absolutely.
more than family. And for me, one of my dearest friends lives in London, and 2008, I owe it to him for what he did to me, what he said to me. I keep saying that everywhere. And maybe
you
because
playing
of
for
him.
Lancashire, right?
No, I played for 4 teams,
All right.
but this has got nothing. He was my classmate
All right.
and one of my dearest friends. And in fact, we were neighbors for a long time before he moved to US, and he was working with Citibank and then with the UBS in
Swiss Bank.
Switzerland.
Yep.
And
Zurich.
then he studied in London Business School. He lives in London now.
All right.
But the most important bit is the friendship. The fact that he could come up to me when I was at my lowest ebb in 2008 after being dropped, for him to come and actually change my life with what
Really?
he said. With what he said, it was just unbelievable. So I feel friends make
So what did he say? I'm intrigued.
So it's interesting because I got dropped after my world record figures, and I was
You have a 6 for 71.
6 for 27
Sorry, 6 for
6 for
27 again in
27.
Mumbai in Wankhede.
at the Wankhede.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. So I got dropped. I was removed from the
I
contract.
proudly have that jersey.
Oh, you do have
sitting
that.
pretty
Correct.
on my wall in my
Yeah,
office.
you do have that. It's my world record.
Thank you
jersey.
so much for that. I mean, you giving me that world record jersey means a lot.
So again, can I say something?
Please.
Before I get to my story, it was Kapil Paji who said to me, he said, always give your valuable things to your friends. Sometimes they will keep it.
Wow.
They will keep it,
Thank you.
preserve it more than you actually do. So it struck a chord with me. So I got dropped, and I was not talking to anybody for a long time. And this friend of mine, his name is Pratik.
But getting dropped after a world record figure of 6.
Let's not go there.
I mean,
It's okay. The life was kind. I played for India for 9 years. So we're not going, it's not about that. So I'm talking about what he said to me. He came home, and obviously when him and my wife get together, they rib me. They literally pull my leg. And this time around, it was a pretty serious this thing. And he just looked at me, and just during the course of the conversation, he asked me a few simple questions. He says, I want to ask you something. I said, go on. He said, do you think you've got a good life? I said, yeah, of course, yes.
Mhm.
He said, do you think your parents gave you good education? I said, yeah, of course. You have a good family? I said, yeah. You've got a good wife? I said, yeah. He said, good friends? Yeah. Everything good. He said, stop looking up, start looking down. And I didn't understand. So I call him Pattu, Pratik Pattu. I said, what do you mean? So he said, if you look up, you'll only see Tendulkar, Harbhajan, Anil Kumble, all those people. If you look down, you will realize that there are 5 billion people willing to give their left arm and left leg to be where you are.
Absolutely.
And that was the day when I actually realized maybe I was never good enough to play for India.
Oh, no, not at all.
No. The thing is, sometimes we always create this story for ourselves. The easiest thing for anybody is to get sucked into a victim mentality thing. We can always paint a rosy picture. Oh, I got hard done by. This didn't happen for me. It's the easiest place to find solace.
It's a defense mechanism.
I don't think it's a good mechanism at all. Because if you confront anything chest on, front on, the most important thing is to realize where you are, not get into that victim mentality. So maybe I was being sorry for myself. Oh, I got 6 for 27. Oh, got 2 man of the match awards. What happened here? Man of the match dropped, contracts, everything gone. But what he made me realize, and the reason why I say that is, once your cricketing career is done, I've seen lots of people who are slightly disgruntled with whatever happened with them. Oh, this didn't happen. I should have been treated this way. Utopian world life is not fair, which we come to realize much later. But what this friend taught me was the attitude of gratitude is the most important thing. The fact that God was kind enough that I played for India for 9 years.
Wow.
And if I keep looking up, I'm only going to see that. If we sit here and if I look up, we're going to see Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and all those people. No, we need to be happy with what God has given us, where we are. And that is exactly what he was trying to tell me, that you've got such a beautiful life around you. You've been given the best of education. Your family is wonderful. Your friends are good. Your wife is wonderful. So if you look up, you're only going to be disgruntled with life. If you look down, you will realize that where you are, billions will give their left arm and left leg to be where they are. And that was one day, and that's the day I realized, sorry, boss, maybe I was not good enough. God was kind that I played for such a long time. So that's why I always feel that friends are a vital part. And when I mean friends, that's a very strong word. So yeah, people who can literally pick up the phone and
call a spade,
and say other things also. So you still not answered why is it that you're not treating the elite athletes of India, but Novak Djokovic? You are his doc, you're Serbian Olympic team's doc. How did that happen?
Yeah, well, so I will get back to patients choose a doctor and a doctor does not choose his patients. That's number one. I flourished in Europe so much so that 6 months in a year I'm in Europe and I'm busy with all these commitments. I was never looking elsewhere. But now these are very small countries. For example, I have my base in Serbia. Serbia has a population of 6.5 million people only.
Which is 65 lakhs.
65 lakhs. That is, let's say, Worli, Dadar and Mahim combined, So there people, the system is made such that they're looking at extra avenues to enhance their athletes. Every small thing, even if I could optimize or enhance the performance of an athlete by about 10%, they want that. So they were looking everywhere. I mean, you add value to them and they will make you your own. Although the color of the Serbian Olympic jersey is red, I always bleed blue. Indian at heart, a Shivaji Park Mumbaikar at heart. Cricket is obviously the thing. I don't know why this has not happened, but maybe at some point of time, when they see that I'm good enough, maybe they will choose me, So I always say that, look, getting picked for the Indian team is one, but the longevity you had, that is where the actual skill is tested. Going to Europe once as a homeopath and then being there for 21 years is where if I look down, I feel that same feeling. There are hundreds of thousands of homeopaths who would give their left arm, right arm, left leg and right leg to be where I am. So, okay, I mean, if it's in my destiny, maybe one day a part of cricket as well.
But when did you meet Novak? How did that happen?
Oh yeah, so I started going to Europe in the year, going regularly in the year 2006-07. A lot of my patients in the elite circle were already there. For example, one important name is Lepa Brena. Then I was treating the Serbian royal family. And because it's a small community, your name tends to pop around, because it's a small community. Everybody seems to know everyone. Back
And then
in-
if somebody has made a difference, obviously
yeah.
that tends to
Comes
fly faster.
comes from the
Yeah.
heart, right?
Yeah.
So the only way a doctor can flourish is by the word of mouth.
Correct.
There's no other way.
100%.
So in fact, there was this case of psoriasis, and he happened to be one of Novak's coaches. So an athlete like him does not have one coach, So people always say, I have that one coach. But then by the time you become an Indian cricketer, you must have undergone some 20 coaches, right?
The coaches, and there are different people as well. Somebody could be a strength and conditioning coach. Somebody could be
Absolutely.
your tennis coach, swing coach, so many other things, physio. Those people travel with a huge team.
So all these athletes come with their own bells and whistles, as we call it.
100%.
So this guy was suffering from psoriasis, who happened to cure.
So that's Novak's coach.
One of Novak's coaches.
Yeah.
So he was Novak's coach, and he was ever so grateful. Doc, I've been so many places, and you are the one who sorted my psoriasis. At that same point of time, I was watching, but because I've been a fan of tennis, especially the big leagues. I like the French Open or I'm talking about the Grand Slams, Wimbledon. I was always a big fan of this guy because he was from Serbia, from Belgrade. I was like, wow, that's exactly where I go. And then one day I saw Novak playing Andy Murray, this English tennis player, and him collapsing on the court, grasping his chest. And I was like, wow, this looks like some kind of spasm that he's got, or I don't know, some kind of asthma, because I never knew that he had asthma or not. And then there was a news all over that Novak has got asthma, and then he's tried all the doctors. Doctors would run without their clothes if Novak calls you, right? And then in my office, the phone rings, and they say that Novak wants to consult Dr. Khedekar. I was like, all right, I don't even know what the problem is, because I just saw him on telly. I was reading some news, never know if the news is real or not real.
And you had never met him before that?
Never met him before that, right? Only heard of him and seen him on telly.
Obviously, everybody knows him.
And then one fine day, this guy officially books an appointment. Now look at his humility, officially books an appointment.
Which is his manager?
No. Novak actually called up I don't know who called Novak or his family or one of his
Somebody
managers.
from his team, yeah.
And then fixes my appointment, because I'm there every alternate month. So they call well in advance that Novak would like to see Dr. Khedekar. And then my staff calls me, who called? I said, who called? Novak Djokovic. I said, are you like, is it April Fool's Day or something? No, he actually called. I said, wow, that is special. And then he actually walks up to my office with his father and his two younger brothers. Like a normal Serbian family man. He comes up to me with his entire family, explains the problem. He was wearing a few magnets over his ears and all that, I'm like, yaar, banda thak chuka hai. So by the time that you come to a homeopath in the first place, banda thak chuka hai.
He has tried different things.
Of course, his entire team. And then he comes up and we start the treatment. And then he actually had to sign a contract with me, because being that kind of player, they cannot go out of their contracts to go to a private doctor, because they have the set of doctors, a supreme athlete like yourself. So he actually did that, and he came to me, and over a period of 1 year, we solved this case. And he was gasping back in the day and struggling with asthma, and now you see his opponents doing the same with his gameplay. So the stamina, his energy, his mental setup, all of them went through the roof.
He's just a different...
He's the GOAT.
He's a
if you
different
look at tennis, Novak is GOAT.
Yeah, he is.
Ever.
He's a different beast altogether. Doc, just another one. When you look at all these athletes, and when you meet them and you look at their body, what is it that you notice which maybe their own doctors miss out on?
Well, see, by default, most of their doctors, when you talk about athletes, what do they need? They need usually orthopedicians, they need physios, they need surgeons, because that is what they are most prone to.
Yeah, if you need a surgery, God forbid, nobody needs a surgery. Yeah.
We'll talk about yours in a bit.
Yeah.
So, that is what you would actually need all the time, because your proneness is towards that area. Having said that, the human body is such a genius machine that it doesn't have just these problems while you're playing. See, your sporting career is one part of your life.
Correct.
Right? Like your friend rightly said, ये तो जिंदगी का एक part है ना आपका, while you're playing your sports. But average lifespan is about 75-80 years. उसमें आप sports कितना खेलते हो?
Hardly any.
A part of it, right?
Hardly any. And like I always tell people, that's one way of taking away a lot of sort of undue pressure from your body and from your mind, is to remember that at the end of the day, your family is still going to love you, irrespective of whether you score 0, get wickets or not. Your family and your loved ones are still going to be the same.
Exactly.
It's a different world. I know that we have fair weather friends, and when you do well, people tend to stick together. As they say,
yeah.
success has many fathers and failure is always an orphan. But when your family is always your family, your dear friends are always your dear friends. So
Yeah, so coming back to the point, so you have those doctors always around you, but then the human machinery or the genetic makeup is so intricate that you tend to have so many other problems that sportsmen love to endure, love to tolerate, because their bodies are supremely built.
the pain threshold is high.
आप एक पेन थ्रेशोल्ड लेके महीना भर खेल सकते हो.
Correct.
somebody like me getting that pain, we are not trained for that. हम लोग वो जाके बिस्तर पे लेट जाएंगे.
Correct.
But then you have to go and perform at the highest level tomorrow. You cannot complain. So ये करते करते they start abusing their bodies.
True.
Now this gets to
नहीं, वो पता है abuse भी नहीं होता. I'll tell you what happens.
misuse, abuse.
Not misuse. I know someone like Novak Djokovic, when he is getting injured, he can take a break. But in a team sport, you know how team sport works.
Yeah.
And now it's still okay. Early on, if you said that, oh, I've got an injury, someone else will take your place. So you end up playing with pain. You end up sort of
more than somebody
not
else
telling you about your injury or talking about your injury.
else taking up your place. You don't want to give it up for the team. कि आपको ये जीत के ही जाना
That is
है.
also there, but I'm saying from a personal point of view, once you are on the field, yes, you have to give it your all.
You're a soldier.
But I'm saying that if I'm playing with a broken tibia or a torn muscle, you end up playing with it because you feel मैं जगह छोड़ूंगा, मुझे जगह नहीं मिलेगी. So players end up playing.
नहीं, जगह नहीं मिलेगी वो तो नेक्स्ट मैच में ना, पर ये मैच का क्या?
नहीं, ये मैच ही इसीलिए you end up playing ना, कि you don't want to give up your spot to somebody. If that was not the case, like in individual sport, you can say, I'm not playing this tournament here.
Yeah.
Golf, I'm withdrawing, my back is troubling, my knee is troubling. Tennis, you can withdraw because you've reached a certain level. In a team sport, and I'm not just saying exclusively to cricket.
There could be basketball,
I'm saying,
football,
hockey,
rugby, hockey.
In most sports, because there are so many people snapping at your heels, vying for the same spot, आप अपना जगह नहीं छोड़ना चाहते. उस वजह से भी players end up abusing their body because injury के साथ खेल बैठते हो ना. Imagine you and me are playing for the same spot.
But then they mask it so well कि हमको
pain threshold
समझता ही नहीं कि भाई
pain threshold high. नहीं हो जाता है. Pain threshold high है. You've got a higher pain threshold. Most sports people end up having a higher pain threshold.
Having a pain threshold beyond the physiological level, how you are made by nature, is what basically invites problems in the future.
1.5 years I played with a broken tibia.
That's when
there was
think of Dr. Khedekar.
calcification, which I ended up tearing my glute muscle.
You see, Newtonian, one thing leads to the other. कोई भी symptom के पहले कुछ रहता है, बाद में कुछ रहता है. So when they think of Dr. Khedekar is कि when they go to that kind of level where the body is not given enough rest for reasons best known to them, वो जगह के लिए होगा कि टीम के लिए होगा, because they are mentally they become so autistic कि एक ही चीज मुझे करनी है. That's where they stop looking outside कि एक holistic picture क्या होता है. Like your friend rightly said, आपका so what did he do? आपको particular से लेके general तक लेके गया. You were looking at only one particular that I am dropped. वो बोला कि भाई what is the holistic picture? कि उसके around जो दुनिया है वो सब perfect है ना. आज ड्रॉप होगी तो कल वापस आ जाओगे आप, because you have it in you.
And नहीं भी हुआ तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
Absolutely.
That is what you. नहीं भी हुआ तो क्या हो गया? Because 2008 I was dropped for good. That's a different thing. But in general, that is something which is a life lesson. That when things are going fine for you, or even if it's not going fine for you, you're always looking at a cup half full.
Perspective.
The perspective. And more importantly, the attitude of gratitude, shukrana, like we like to say, everybody will take your spot. If you say, मैं आज ये दूंगा, you want to be this one? Yeah, any day. So which we don't. We are thinking something else. So that is what his idea was. So आप कुछ बात कर रहे थे elite athlete की body के बारे में.
Of course, such as you.
No, I'm not.
So supremely built, the kind of effort that they put is superhuman, and for them every cent counts. Whatever is going to enhance them. अभी नोवाक का तो मतलब ऐसा हो गया था कि उसका करियर खत्म होने वाला है कि नहीं. So that is the time when they think of a specialist, like in that case was me, कि they want to go to the best. एक तो they will make no compromise. उसका ऐसा लो कि because of asthma now what does he do? Take your bronchodilatators, take steroids, and how much can you pull on? Longevity क्या होगा इसके बाद?
He's also a celiac, na?
Later on, see, after which he discovered that there was gluten allergy also. But then उसका trigger तो होना चाहिए ना. So Novak's trigger was what? कि वो जब ही home ground पे खेलता था, playing in Belgrade was adding more pressure to him than playing in Wimbledon.
Okay.
So यहाँ से मेरा history शुरू हुआ कि okay, इसको ये problem कहाँ से शुरुआत हो रही है? So allergies do not come up from the sky, right? There has to be a trigger.
Okay.
So the pressure playing at home was overwhelming him than playing outside home. So that is when he started getting those problems. So we got to the root of it. I understood his constitution, how he's built, his general makeup, his physical makeup, his mental makeup, and then we came to a remedy. So and then obviously we see the results. So every athlete, be it a footballer or be it a basketball player from NBA, all that, they have their own individual issues that cannot be tackled by their routine. उनका जो team होता है ना, they are limited to what they do, right? एक physio आपको क्या वो injury में आपका cramp निकाल के देगा. An orthopedician will come when you have a let's say ACL or some torn ligament, some ruptured tendon here and there. But then you have your general physician. आपको कुछ infection हो गया तो आपको antibiotic दे देगा. But then these are small quick fixes. But for the longer run is when they look outside their routine and think about coming to homeopathy. That's where I come into picture.
So nowadays the world has gone towards lots of these protein powders, protein shakes, and all the other supplements which athletes use. I think even normal people use when they go to the gym. Your take on it?
As a physician, I always tell any of my patient, do not take anything that does not grow in 100-kilometer radius from where you're born.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. You're born in a specific region, in a specific environment. तो आपके आजू बाजू ने ये नेचर ने सारा प्रोवाइड किया है. You don't have to take that algae that comes from Japan because it is promoted well or advertised well. You don't need that. आपके आजू बाजू जो होता है मैं बोलता हूँ वही करो. See, and then athletes obviously because they are pushing their physiological limit and going to that kind of performance, they would need supplements. Nothing wrong with that. वो टाइम पे काम करता है. And many times these are suppressive treatments. आपका symptom suppress करके आपको boost कर देगा and taking a toll on the longevity. Finally, you want to play for that team for a longer period, not just have one explosive performance and कल आप जाके घर पे बैठो.
No, but most of them look at all these supplements because of the repeatability.
Because you're pushing the physiological limit.
Yeah, because you're constantly playing. They help in recovery.
That's exactly where
muscle
WADA comes
building.
Into, yeah, that's exactly where WADA comes into picture, right?
Yeah.
It goes to a certain limit where the anti-doping thing also. अभी पता नहीं cricket में is it happening?
It's always been there. It's always been there. So you are always allowed. Obviously, supplements,
random urine samples.
Yeah, 100%. But you cannot have any of those banned substances, and that's why most teams and most strength and conditioning coaches and physios make sure that whatever supplements they're getting, the batches are tested because you cannot have any anabolic steroid or any banned substance. And also, as sports people, say like I'm hypothyroidic. So there is something called TUE, therapeutic use exemption. So there are certain things which are allowed. I think for people, I am bald now, so I makes no. So there was some medicine which used to be.
The room is bright because of you.
Yeah, thank you. There was I'm forgetting the name of that medicine. It's in minoxidil and all those things.
For hair growth,
there is also a tablet which people end up taking. That was seen as a masking agent before. Now they've sort of relaxed all those norms, but still, all the supplements are batch tested. They need to be sure that it's coming from the right source. And as you said, there's a lot of random testing. After every game, there's a lot of random testing.
So same is the case with these top athletes playing individual sports. I mean, we all know the story of Armstrong and the cyclist and all that. So many times what happens is the athlete does not know medicine. Obviously, why would he know medicine? Sometimes he's taking a cocktail of 2 and 3 different drugs, which gives a resultant which is actually, and the athlete has no clue.
That concoction is not working well.
I mean, the resultant is something else. Athlete बोलते हैं, मुझे क्या पता था यार ये?
Absolutely.
So when you take a particular antibiotic coupled with a steroid and coupled with some antihistaminic, and उसका resultant could be something else. And obviously taking all these drugs takes a toll on your body because of the hepatotoxicity, the renal toxicity. तो performance तो कम होता ही होता है. For an Olympic sprinter, for a footballer, for a cricketer, every day, every minute is important. That's where they look outside of the box in homeopathy, जहाँ पे आपको side effect नहीं है. It is going to improve your performance, your overall health very quickly and without having any worries about WADA. कि आके रोज मुझे टेस्ट करो and there's no problem. So that's when they turn to homeopathy.
Your association with the Serbian Olympic team. Talk us through that.
Sure. So obviously, because I was already treating Novak, so the name was already there. Then the president of the Serbian Olympic Committee came to me before the Tokyo Olympics, before COVID hit, and he requested me, doctor, can you be a part of our contingent and take care of 300 people? I said, 300 people in the sense, so 70 athletes along with their support staff.
Wow.
So I was supposed to make sure that they do not
So
suffer.
the Serbian contingent was only 70.
70 athletes, yes.
That's it.
And we have 9 medals.
How is it?
We have 9 medals. Indian contingent, आप देखोगे, we have 6 medals. You see? So they do not leave any stone unturned. अगर homeopath चाहिए, तो homeopath चाहिए. They would not classify इसमें क्या होगा. So I think there's a few clubs in Germany who also have a homeopath. And they're, I mean, you know how the German clubs are. You know, they're not super rich like the English clubs, but they're super efficient. You see the top teams in Bundesliga are always there in the Champions League. Always. So they do not leave any stone unturned. So they requested me that, doctor, will you take care of these 300 people that we have for the Tokyo Olympics? Obviously, I took up that responsibility and we made sure that everything was smooth sailing. Tokyo Olympics got deferred by a year or something, but everything was fine. We got 9 medals. I'm so proud of it. And then that went on through to Paris Olympics. So I've been with the contingent taking care of their equestrian sport, their water polo team, their basketball, and everything that comes under Olympics, which is the biggest roof under which there are several verticals. And then from the Olympics, then to private clubs and all of that.
So, okay, I am an athlete, or I'm an Olympic team, or I'm a franchise. At what stage or at what point do they just say, they pick up the phone and say, doc, I need to get hold of you?
One thing is that they should have sound knowledge about what is the offering. Second is there should be an identifiable problem. See, team healthy hai, magar team ka agar mind balance nahi hai. Homeopathy looks at the mind and body balance.
Okay.
You are never going to perform. You know, for example, Kartik, you'll relate to this very well. There are days, आप हाथ में बॉल लेते हो बोलते हो 5 विकेट आज.
नहीं, ऐसे मैंने बोला नहीं है.
एक फील ने बोलते हो मतलब खुद को.
What I feel is that
आज 5 विकेट है.
अच्छा छूटता है, हाँ.
You know, this is my day.
Yeah.
And there are days when everything is right, but you think यार
कुछ नहीं हो रहा.
आज नहीं हो रहा है.
कुछ नहीं हो रहा.
You see, so ये फर्क कहाँ से आ रहा है? So when you're on homeopathic treatment, you absolutely are at the apex of your form. कि आज, because वो balance, see, mind works well only when there is balance. ये कुर्सी का एक पहिया निकाल दो, I will never feel confident.
Correct.
Because the balance internally is lost.
Yeah.
Homeopathy fixes that in terms of your immunity, in terms of your sociability, in terms of your internal mental health.
Feel good factor.
नहीं, feel good factor is the result.
Okay.
ये सब बैलेंस में आ जाएगा ना. Now मेरे चारों पहिए अगर बैलेंस में, तो I'm feeling very comfortable.
Correct.
एक पहिया नहीं है, dodgy, I'm not comfortable.
Yeah. Imbalance.
So the problem is in the software as well as the hardware. Homeopathy fixes that. So when somebody thinks कि मुझे मेरे players को enhance करने का to that level, that's when he thinks of a homeopath.
So a follow-up question on that, which means that homeopathy adds a lot of value to an athlete. Does it also add lots of years to a career of an athlete?
Well, in current situation in America now, they are only talking about customized medicine. They are talking about longevity and talking about drugs to do that. So treatment outcomes is very important factor. For example, somebody suffers from a particular disease. Could you give any example?
Diabetes.
Diabetes, chalo. So diabetes से आप suffer कर रहे हो. I can give you remedies to enhance your islets of Langerhans कि आपका insulin secretion ज़्यादा हो. At the cost of what? So treatment outcome, right? आपका ये problem के लिए ये problem तो जाएगा, but at the cost of what? Usually it is at the cost of your longevity. Because जब भी आप suppressive treatments लेते हो to suppress a particular problem, this takes a toll on your cortisol levels, this takes a toll on your telomerase levels, and hence the telomere. Telomere is the one that decides your longevity. कि आप कितना जीने वाले हो और क्वालिटी जीना है. सिम्टम गया, उसमें आपका क्वालिटी एनहांस नहीं हो रहा है. सो दैट इज एग्जैक्टली वेयर होम्योपैथी लुक्स एट टू इंक्रीज योर लॉन्जेविटी. आप 2 साल नहीं खेलोगे, अब 10 साल खेलोगे.
So again, when you look at all that, what would you say to every upcoming young Indian cricketer or athlete about the choices that they make when they are 19 or 20 or maybe even younger to what they see themselves at 31, 32, 33? What would you say to those young boys?
See now, I've been treating so many footballers, and because in Europe, I mean that's the most popular sport. At the age of 18 and 19, आपके मन में क्या आता है? I mean, sports is something where you get.
But it's changed, na? Things have changed. So what you and me
things have
knew
now changed.
about fitness and what you need to consume, you said, oh, we need to eat whatever we need to eat, which is born within your radius. And that is exactly what happened. So coming from Delhi, you eat different. Coming from Mumbai, you eat different. Coming from the eastern part of India,
Yeah.
Calcutta or whatever, their intake is very different. So as a sports person, वही खाया है आपने while growing up. But nowadays, people, whether you're up north,
But then when you go to the peak and now you want to change your diet, भाई आप यहाँ पे आए तभी क्या खा रहे थे?
नहीं, but
You understand?
does it also mean sports nutrition has changed the mindset of people?
No, I think our question was different. हम लोग क्या
No,
बोल-
what I'm trying to say is that what are the choices that a young player
Yeah,
will
okay,
make?
yeah. So at the age of 18, 19,
हाँ, मुझे तो उस टाइम पता ही नहीं था.
exactly. So I'm giving the example of footballers, right? 18, 19, you're picked up to play for English Premier League. So which is a dream come true for, or whichever, French league or Spanish or whatever. So एक तो he's completely blinded by the name, fame, glory he gets. Sports is the only thing when you see huge success at a very young age. So मतलब वो बंदा वो बन जाता है, वो कभी था ही नहीं. Then you get exposed to all the riches of the world, a life that you never imagined was possible. Mostly in Europe, sports people are coming from modest to rough backgrounds. They're not coming from elite backgrounds. So suddenly you see all the success. So this can go in two different ways. तो वो सोचते ही नहीं कि अपने हेल्थ के बारे में, because they don't even know कि हेल्थ का क्या होगा, and hence they have a very short-lived careers. So I would recommend कि problem होने के बाद solutions are limited. Problem ना हो,
Yeah.
उसके लिए
Prevention is better than cure.
Absolutely. When there's a problem, your choices are limited in the terms of solution, right?
Correct.
But a problem now, prophylactic as we call it, is where they should start looking at a homeopath from day one of their career. Aapka career definitely longer and you'll have more quality. That's what the Olympic team is doing. That's why we have more success in such a small contingent of 70 people.
Yeah, that is why I am surprised. Look, as I said, we have friends, but I'm surprised that you are treating everyone around the world, NBA players, royalty, politicians, industrialists, Novak Djokovic. I think it is because of you that he didn't take the vaccination
in Australia,
which poor guy he got slammed for, but you're the man.
No. See,
no, I'm just joking with you. You're the man. You're the doc who didn't allow him to take that vaccination.
See, I'll give you a brief background about his case. He suffered from asthma, right? Now, this is in the area of autoimmune problem. This asthma has been cured. Completely gaya hai. By taking...
Achha, it's completely gone.
Gone. And then he's on a gluten-free diet as well, as we know, which is given by his nutritionist. So he has two doctors. One is his immunologist, Dr. Nestorovic, and me as a homeopath. So me and Nestorovic had a very deep conversation. Nestorovic is, he's an immunologist, right? He's an allopathic doctor, but he completely understands what homeopathy does, because homeopathy and immunology go hand in hand. Immunology means whatever your immune system is made up of. Asthma is an autoimmune problem. By taking a vaccine, you are increasing his chances of getting the asthma again.
Okay.
And Djokovic is such a cutter player. वो बोला कि यार एक फ्रेंच ओपन किया, मेरे जिंदगी में मुझे asthma नहीं चाहिए बॉस.
That is the worst thing.
He went French Open, Australian Open. So basically, Novak had recovered from COVID. He had a COVID recovery certificate, which is at the highest level of treatment. No vaccine is going to empower you more than a COVID recovery, because antibodies are there with you. The Australian authorities had permitted him to play in the Australian Open. Once he went there, he was confined to a room as if he's a criminal. His phone was taken away. बोला भाई ये कौन करता है, वो कोई criminal थोड़ी है यार. So obviously, I was a part of the decision making कि इसको vaccine की जरूरत नहीं है, because he has recovered from COVID already. So उसको जरूरत नहीं है. I'm not an anti-vaxxer or something. किसको लेना चाहिए और किसको नहीं. Somebody who's recovered from COVID, वो vaccine क्यों लेगा? This is stupidity, man. So in a way,
and also it is going to increase his chances of asthma. More importantly.
So वो बोलेगा ये Australian Open क्या मैं, and then he went back to the subsequent Australian Open and beat everybody, and still playing. So what is more important, that one incident or the longevity? That's where homeopath looks at. We have a bird's eye view. कि ये पूरे सिचुएशन में एथलीट क्या है, इज फोकस्ड ओनली ऑन वन थिंग, उसको नहीं समझता है. बट दैट्स वेयर वी कम इनटू पिक्चर, राइट? To handle my accounts, I am not trained in accounts, so hence I have a CA who does that, right? So as simple as that. I mean, render to Caesar what is unto Caesar, as in medicine. जो उसका काम है वो उसको दो करने के लिए.
Lovely. Doc, we've spoken about all the help that you have done to all the international players, all of them. What will it take for Dr. Shreepad Khedekar to come and help all the Indian people, all the Indian players, different contingents, different sort of, what should I say, anybody who needs help in India, because it's like made in India, but it's as if it's made in Serbia now.
Well.
Or made in Europe.
Well. So, like I said previously, doctors do not choose their patients. Patients choose their doctors. See, like in your case, I mean, we've been friends for such a long time. But then I didn't want to ask you about your hypothyroid that came up today. You know, now...
So you know about it, but you've never asked me.
Exactly, because even when we are friends, I mean, my profession is my profession, you know. I never try to pry on anything. Now, uniquely, see, I understand some things about you very well. You always want to be in a cold environment. Every time we meet, you'll say, Doc, pehle AC lagao. Or let's not go outside, let's sit inside. Now, for a constitution who's hypothyroid, it should have been just the opposite.
Opposite, exactly.
You see?
Yeah.
So now,
and I should be itchy and I should be lethargic.
And
I
gaining
have none
weight.
of those symptoms.
You see, so that's...
Or I'm gaining weight, yeah.
You see? So that's exactly where you are unique from other hypothyroid people. So if you were to take treatment, I exactly
that
know
is
what
exactly
to give you.
what the endocrinologist said. He asked me
see?
about all these symptoms. And he said, I have none of them because I like the cold environment. I survive on 3-4 hours sleep. Just like during the IPL, I've taken 40 flights with 2, 3, 4 hours sleep. And I'm fine.
So have you tested for your anti-TG, anti-TPO?
What is this now?
All right.
This is faster than Malcolm Marshall's bouncer.
No. So these are indicators of autoimmunity.
Okay.
So those things so doctors in India usually miss out on that.
Okay.
You know, so anti-TPO, anti-TG is what you have to actually test.
Okay.
That gives a result on your thyroid stimulating hormone. So T3, T4, TSH, ये 3 चीज होता है, right? तो उसको बनाने के लिए और बिगाड़ने के लिए anti-TG, anti-TPO ये पहला टेस्ट करना चाहिए. And the problem is there, which needs to be fixed. And then your uniqueness कि hypothyroid होने के बावजूद you're not lethargic, not gaining weight, not itchy, not feeling chilly and all of that. So that differentiates you from other hypothyroid patients. वो अगर ठीक करेंगे ना, at your age you're fit and fine, as fit as a fiddle. वो ठीक करने के लिए कितना टाइम लगेगा? 2-3 महीना? That's about it, man. And then you get rid of your external thyroid that you're taking or supplementing the absence of it.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how a homeopath is thinking.
Wow.
How is he unique from the other people?
Wow.
And taking into consideration, I know Kartik as a great friend, integrity, proper soldier kind of person, very critical at times about, you like to, ye nahi, wo hona chahiye, wo nahi. So that's you. I mean, when my mom sees you, she's always like, tera bada bhai aa gaya. So that kind of integrity, every time you come, प्यार से हमेशा phone करोगे. So that means your inclination towards relationships. So all this defines you. And then I come up to a remedy. I'm already between 3 remedies. 2-3 remedy hai. Once you sit on the table for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I'm sorted. Here's your remedy, take it, and that's it.
Interesting. I think people need to get hold of Dr. Khedekar. Thanks, Doc. Thank you.
Doc, one pertinent question which I want to ask you, maybe मेरे दिमाग में ये pertinent है. For all the patients or all the people who normally take allopathy, can you mix and match? Can you integrate homeopathy? कुछ ऐसा तो नहीं है कि homeopathy लोगे तो allopathy नहीं, allopathy लोगे तो homeopathy नहीं, or can both be taken?
All right. So what we look at is, see, any and every patient that has come to me for the first time has already been doing something. कोई पेशेंट ऐसा रॉ नहीं है कि मेरे लिए रोका है. So usually or unfortunately homeopathy comes as a last resort.
Yeah.
So he's either taking some kind of Ayurveda or conventional system 90% of the times, or doing some physio or doing something, right? So मेरे पास जब ये आता है, because it has not worked, मेरे पास आता है. So body goes into homeostasis, or body starts adapting to anything which is good or bad. Mm-hmm. So me stopping that treatment is definitely criminal and wrong, because he will go into withdrawal. कोई बंदा शराब पी रहा है 20 साल से and he's come for de-addiction, I cannot tell him stop today. So what we look at कि उसको दवाई देने के बाद as he starts to improve, we taper off his existing good or bad substance.
Okay.
So people who are coming to me for the treatment are already doing something. So once I start his self or kickstart his self healing mechanism, gradually उसका जो dependency on the bad substance है हम लोग taper off करते जाते हैं. So obviously yes, answer is yes. Homeopathy can be taken alongside other modes of treatment, and as you start to improve, then we taper off.
Okay.
So one more thing that was interesting to me, obviously I didn't pry on that. So आपका injury के बारे में आप बोल रहे थे. So started from the foot and ascended and then your shoulder.
No, that was my. I've had million injuries.
Of course.
I've had a shoulder surgery. I've had a knee surgery. Shoulder surgery was because of. I think most spinners have. Repetition, overuse, as you said. Knee was because
the rotator cuff is going to degeneration. You know,
Yeah.
and then back problems because you're
pivoting
the body.
man. Yeah, and my knee was because my right knee was because I fell on a stone and my patella got cut
During
fielding.
international game or practice?
No, Ranji Trophy game.
Oh,
See, the grounds are much better, but still you have those sort of freakish injuries. But for me, the timing was such that ये हुआ March में, ये हुआ May में. So both surgeries were simultaneous. I was out of action for a long time because साथ हुआ. I couldn't do anything. The timing was such.
so your proneness increased.
हो सकता है. I had my L5S1 degenerated. I have a degenerated disc at the age of 23, and बाद में मुझे पता चला कि it was because उस time पे when I was younger, you couldn't afford those proper shoes. Nah, I played with shoes which possibly didn't suit me, suit the game, and things like that. So
Adidas was your
no, that was much later. That was
later.
when Adidas was when I made my test debut.
All right.
It was post that, but उससे पहले तो नहीं था ना. उससे पहले तो so yeah, I've had my fair share of injuries, but again, it's a very different time. वही मैं कभी-कभी when I think about it, talking about nutrition, talking about what needs to be done. That is why I was trying to pick your brain. That what would you tell a young kid where there is so much information, where you've got the experts to go to? We have found out at my age, I now know after having gone through everything, the level of medicine, the science, and the thoughts, and the functionalities, the ideologies have all changed. Now a team has 3 masseurs. You've got 2 physios. There are doctors traveling with you. The entourage is big. You've got a medical committee to take care. Like aapne bola ki your Serbian Olympic committee has got a medical committee. You're taking care of not just the athletes, but you're also taking care of people who are behind the scenes. So everybody is under one roof, or sort of you've got the purview of all of them. Pehle nahi tha na. Pehle to, like when I had my back issue, BCCI had to send me to Australia. Now you have so many Indian docs. You've got you've got the options to be in India. You don't have to travel abroad to do it. And again, वो भी hit or miss था. कौन है shoulder का best doctor कौन है? So they sent me to Melbourne. Like Sachin Tendulkar was sent to London. So all of us have gone to different places for our shoulder surgeries. Things are much different now, very different now. So a young athlete in a team now, you've got the cricket of excellence, the center of excellence, center of excellence, which has got a medical team which overlooks or oversees all these players. So बहुत फर्क पड़ गया है. So वो बहुत interesting हो गया पुराने के मुकाबले मुझे लगता है.
You know, interestingly, now that this came up, one of Sachin's orthopedic surgeons happens to be a patient of mine.
Okay.
Yeah. So so I understand those things. So basically, it's the decision of the management. The athlete is in no power or is not in the know to choose a doctor. But the management should, like the Serbian Olympic Committee decides that I should be picked up for certain areas, and then it's a clearly well-defined area. मुझे क्या करना है? I'm not dabbling with.
No, but that is only when you're part of a team. There are other aspiring athletes. There are aspiring cricketers. There are aspiring tennis players and different golfers who can all come to you. मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है. It's not that you have to be part of a team only to know Dr. Shreepad or to know X or to know Y. As a kid growing up, as an aspiring sports person, as you said, prevention is better than cure. that is the most important bit. I was always taught prevention is better than cure.
Absolutely.
Kyunki at the end of the day, you
A
end up
stitch in
playing.
time saves 9, as they call it.
Stitch in time saves 9. My career, I played through injury. So many injuries.
Really?
Yeah. I played through so many injuries. My shoulder was gone. I was still playing for India. As I said, I was playing county cricket with my tibia, which had calcified, and I was in a lot of pain and landing foot as well for a left arm spinner. एक बार ankle गया था. Ankle में के बावजूद I was playing. Ankle gone, completely badly gone. Broken thumb, broken jaw. बहुत सारी injuries के साथ खेला हूँ मैं. Glute muscle फट गया था, तो I was in a situation where beyond the point I couldn't move. So that is when I was sent to an oxygen chamber to heal.
Hyperbaric.
For 25 days, I couldn't do anything. So that just actually accelerated my healing, and I was fine after that. But that calcification, as you said, वो tibia वगैरह tight होते, my glute muscle tore. I couldn't move. मतलब it was horrible.
So it's
I played through many injuries.
Clear case of suppression when the disease ascends from lesser important to more important.
जी.
You know, that's why your brain is sitting at the top, because of the most importance that nature has given you. So diseases जब भी cure होते हैं, they go from above down, और जब भी suppress होते हैं, when you suppress and still continue, they go from नीचे से ऊपर आ जाता है.
Yeah, and that's why I said for us in team sport, things have become much better. You have to give credit to all of that. Players can walk out of the game and say, I'm injured, boss. मेरे से नहीं होगा. पहले नहीं करते थे, for fear of losing your spot. You will always play through injury. You'll always play through injury because you don't want to let anybody know that I'm injured, or if you say you're injured, they'll replace you. If you get replaced, will you come back? You never know. So,
well said. You know, so born and brought up in Shivaji Park, Dadar, you know. So we used to watch a lot of test players coming and playing in Shivaji Park. You know, like personally, हमने गावस्कर सर को देखा है, सैंडी भाई को देखा है, वेंकसरकर सर, प्रवीण आमरे, सचिन, विनोद, अजीत, सबको हमने देखा है सामने नेट में खेलते हुए without any hue and cry. Nowadays, when I see international cricketers coming, or Shivaji Park में कभी they come for their sessions or their coaching, whatever, you know. एक बार तो मैंने I would not like to take names. एक टॉप इंडियन बैट्समैन आया वहाँ पे, विकेट देखा, बोला मैं नहीं खेलेगा इधर. एंड वी वर लाइक, रुके थे कि उनको बैटिंग करने के लिए देखे. तो पीपल आस्क्ड हिम, आप क्यों नहीं खेलोगे इधर, विकेट ठीक नहीं है. सो दे वर सो कॉन्शियस अबाउट कि ये विकेट ठीक नहीं है, मुझे इंजरी हो जाएगी यहाँ पे, बिकॉज दे आर यूज्ड टू अ पर्टिकुलर वे ऑफ प्लेइंग. पहले ऐसे नहीं था. गावस्कर सर कोई भी विकेट कांगा लीग में आके खेल रहे थे यार, विदाउट इवन वेयरिंग अ हेलमेट. एंड नाउ आई सी, आई मीन, व्हिच इज गुड, आई मीन, व्हाई नॉट, बट देन दे बिकम सो केयरफुल कि ये विकेट पे मैंने रोल नहीं किया बराबर. We were like, wow.
There's a lot at stake, man.
I mean, but this was very surprising for us, you know. But now that you say कि इतना, a lot of, you know, there's a lot that actually matters. कि उसको एक injury लग गया, एक ball लग गया, so all of that. So in your career, I mean, having said that, in your career, how many times have you seen sportsmen missing out or being dropped out because of health issues that could not be fixed by their own team?
Many times. There will be million instances of that. From
Really?
a young age, yeah. Young age. Again, the access to all this wasn't there pehle. So obviously you're still trial and error, hit or miss. You don't know what's happening. And then beyond the point, see, everybody has got a sort of temperament which gives up very late or gives up very early. Pain threshold ek alag cheez hai, but mentally when you give up, when you want to walk away from the game is your own. There are people who will keep trying till kingdom come, and there'll be others who will try for a while and then say, this is not my cup of tea, let me do something else. My health is not allowing me, I'm getting injured, or whatever I try, nothing's happening, nothing's working out. So a million instances where a million is an exaggeration, but what I'm trying to say is that there have been so many instances where friends of mine or people I know have just walked away.
I mean, as we hear from the outside, you भी had a lot of, I mean, वो World Cup में जो खेले वो, I mean, with all the, and then we were all shocked कि boss ये हो क्या गया?
Yeah, so can you imagine the threshold?
He's been your teammate,
yeah.
Also a South.
Can you imagine the pain threshold which he must have gone, which he has or he has endured? What nobody knew. We met him so many times. I played with him around that time. Unbelievable. Hats off to him for what he did.
And then bouncing back and playing for India. Exactly. That is like, wow.
No, you think of the great Sachin Tendulkar. How many injuries he has played with. So you're never 100% pain-free or injury-free. Sometimes you just push through that pain. Sometimes it gets to a stage where you can't go anymore. And that's when you say, we have to do something about it. But if you're 60%, 70%, 80% fit, you can end up pushing.
80% में भी आप
Yeah, I've played with 60% fit. I've played with a broken thumb, broken jaw. As I said, I had a fractured.
So
I ended up getting calcification.
people only talk about Kumble. Kartik bhai के बारे में किसने सुना नहीं है?
It's not about that. No,
Today we are talking.
No, it's not me. I'm talking about players in general. Like I said, with that calcified tibia, broken tibia, it had started calcification.
Wow.
And then everything went through.
Thank you for your service, bhai. Thank you for your service.
No, not at all. That's not the case. What I'm trying to say is I'm answering your question that you never 100% fine. Never 100% fine. There's always something which is ailing or niggling you.
And you're overlooking the issue,
because
suppressing it.
Yeah, you can never be 100%. You're always having some issue. I can't think of a time where I felt 100% fit. Maybe mentally you're fine, but physically you just push through pain. You get used to it. You get accustomed doing it.
So don't you think a homeopath there would actually add value?
That's why I asked you. That's why I was trying to figure out what is the value add of Dr. Shreepad? Because when others are going to him, why aren't the others from our own country doing it? That was my question. That is why I asked you that question in the first place.
In fact, that should be my question to you. All right. So
we've never been. I don't know. Can because of homeopathy, can any athlete be 100% pain free going into a game?
see, pain is an outcome of a symptom. Why is the body giving rise to pain? Because body is giving you a signal that you should rest. अगर pain नहीं होता, a man would stand in the middle of the road and get run down by a car.
बिल्कुल.
Pain is a defense mechanism जो आपको बोल रहा है कि
Tells you.
microcellular level पे, microfiber level पे, there are tear, but there is a tear. Give it rest for me to recuperate and heal myself. और उसमें आप continue करते जा रहे हो by applying some anti-analgesic. So you are only worsening the issue, right? So obviously when rest is not the option, so that is when you're going to aggravate the problem even further. So I am not a doctor who's going to help you on the field. I'm a doctor who's going to help you off the field, not to get into those problems. Micro tear kabhi hota hai when you're overusing a particular muscle, a particular organ, and so on and so forth, your musculoskeletal system. वो होने के बाद ही आपको problems आते हैं ना, तो वो ना होने के लिए is where homeopath can help. Yep. होने के लिए you have doctors on field, on field calls are they supersede everything else when you're playing actually. So that is not my role. My role is not for you to have that problem.
Got you. Prevention is always better than cure. On that note, lovely talking to you, Doc.